It's time for To the Max Sports, where we talk about sports. They're just two guys, Max and Drew, in a bar talking all things sports. Well, without the bar. And the beer. Wait, why aren't we in the bar?
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Max Sports. You all know what time it is. It's time for To the Max Sports. Folks, hang around today. I am going to have a plethora of topics to talk about with brother Bob.
Hi.
Hi, Bob. Hang in. Wait about 10, 15 minutes. I'm going to tell you why, Bob. Jerry Jones may have ended Bill Belichick's career. And then I will give you my locks of the week. I won last week. I had the Giants. They covered. Won outright, much to Bob's chagrin. We both went 2-2 last week, Bob. So, nothing's changed. At this point, you are against the spread because we only bet primetime games. Those aren't my locks. Those are just so we're not betting every single game. Bob went 27-23, 2-2 last week, and you're now 29-25 for the year.
Okay.
And I'm 2-2 and 23-27. Still, I still have some work to do, Bob. Bob, I know you love this topic, refereeing in the NFL.
It's a hard job.
It is a hard job.
It's a hard job. I mean, I wish we had full-time referees, but these guys do the best job they can, man, and they're human.
Well, like Lou Holtz once said, fans like the coach, coaches like the ref, and refs just want to watch the game.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever refereed anything?
No.
At any level?
No. You think I want some parent assaulting me because little John, I missed a foul call on a basketball shot with little Johnny?
Really?
But someone has entered the fray to actually bring light to this. A announcer has gone where no announcer dares to go. Did you see where Troy Aikman the other night? Again, just one of these calls that everybody on TV could see. It should have been about 2 seconds to say, okay. And Aikman finally had enough. He's like, come on. I mean, this is on live television. He's like, come on, guys. 2 minutes into this, looking at it at every angle, 13 seconds left on the half.
And that's
pretty much a meaningless play.
And I'm sorry, don't lay that at the referee's feet. Lay that at the competition committee's feet. We need a sky ref who is part of the crew, who is not just an advisor.
Yeah. I think you'll see some big changes here at the end of the year. They have to do something. Well, Bob, what else is going on?
I don't know. Did you want to go further down this rabbit hole of the Zapruder film around referees?
So maybe, just maybe, the reason the refs are missing the calls is because they're high. There's a conspiracy theory going on. The fans, so is that a vape pen
That's
or
a pen? It's a pen.
For those of you who, it's a video of a ref who dropped something out of his pocket.
Who dropped his pen? Who dropped his pen?
But don't vape pens look like pens? I don't know. I don't do that.
It's a pen. It's a pen. For all the people that think that that's something else, it's a pen. Go back to your parents' basement and call for your meatloaf.
That was making the rounds. So I thought that was pretty funny.
You know, you need more. Unemployment is kind of low, so, I mean, there are jobs out there for you to be had, so please get out of your parents' basements.
You want to move into our picks for against the spread picks on prime time?
Sure. Do you want to talk about it? Yeah, we can go right into that.
And then I will again tell you why Jerry Jones may have ended Bill Belichick's career.
Bill Belichick may have ended Bill Belichick's career. There are reports right now that this is his last season in New England.
Yeah.
I mean, credible reports that this is his last season in New England.
Jerry Jones helped him.
Well,
helped him
out of the goodness of his heart. So let's
tonight we've got a barn burner, must see television.
Yeah, this is what is this the Broncos at the Lions?
This is the Raiders Charger game.
Oh, Raiders Chargers. Why don't I have that on my sheet? I thought I had that on my sheet.
It's Raiders Chargers.
Raiders Chargers.
I believe you have to look at the line. Sorry.
Yep, there is. I thought I had it. Las Vegas, -3.
I'll let you go first on this one, Bob.
I really don't care.
Neither do I.
I really don't care. Both of these teams are 5-8. Who cares? Raiders are gonna Raider. I'll take the Raiders and lay the points.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Jacobs may be out. He's still questionable. Now we found out that Justin Herbert's definitely out for the year, which I think if they were still in playoff contention, they would bandage and tape that finger and he'd still be playing. But the season's over. That coaching staff is gone at the end of the year, and probably the Raiders coaching staff also. But having said that, yeah, give me the Raiders. I think they can do just enough to win this game, even though they didn't score a point last week, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I will go ahead and I'll take the Raiders and give the 3 points.
Sounds good.
And what should be a very exciting game. Bob, I want to do something a little different, too. On Thursday nights, I don't play fantasy football. I tried one time. I hated it because I found myself not watching the game, just watching the player. And
have you ever heard my theory about fantasy football?
I think I have, but go ahead.
Yeah, they're like babies. Everyone's fantasy football team is like a baby. They think that they're the smartest, most beautiful, most interesting thing in the world. Everybody who plays fantasy football thinks their fantasy football team is the most interesting thing in the world. The reality is, for the rest of us, your fantasy football team is the least interesting thing in the whole wide world, and I don't want to hear about it.
The only thing least interesting is when you get on your cell phone and start showing me pictures of your kids. That and fantasy football, I'm out.
Unless you're Jennifer Lawrence's dad, and then you're totally okay showing me pictures of your daughter.
Now, just because there are so many fantasy footballers out there, in this game, if you had to start someone, go ahead and start Gerald Everett. That would be my guy to have you all take if you got to play fantasy football tonight.
And go get a life.
Have a starter.
And go get a life. My other problem with fantasy football is it takes away rooting for teams and rooting for individuals. So you're sitting there and you don't care about the outcome of the game. You only care about the outcome of that one player. Yeah. Go get me a touchdown. Go get me yards. Go pound sand.
No, I agree. It ruined it. I can't do fantasy football.
Yeah.
Because to me, it just distracts from the beauty of the entirety of the game.
So now that we're done with college football, we finally get Saturday NFL games again. So I added in the mix the Saturday primetime game. So that's the night game. That is the Denver Broncos on the road at Detroit. Detroit's favored by 4 in this game. And this is almost a must-win for both teams. It's definitely a must-win for Detroit, and they're at home.
Detroit's at home in this game?
Detroit is at home in this game, laying 4.
I mean, I don't like this game at all. I think Detroit's regressing, but then I still, I still don't trust the Broncos, So having said that, as tough as this game is, I think at the key positions that Detroit has the better talent. If their defense can just, put some pressure on Denver, they should be fine.
You taking Detroit then?
Yeah, I hate giving.
You talking yourself into Detroit?
I would probably buy it down to 3 points, but just for this entirety of what we're doing, I'll go ahead and take Detroit minus 4.5 at home.
No, it's just minus 4. You're only giving 4.
Okay. I'd buy it down a point.
Oh, I think this game is at least a possession and a half. This is 10 points. Detroit is not going to have any problems with Denver. That's my prediction.
Okay. We're both online for that one.
So the next game, the Sunday night game, is the Ravens at the Jaguars. And the Ravens are favored by 3.5. 3.5 right now.
I mean, they're winning, but they're winning ugly when it comes to the Ravens. The Jaguars, when they're losing ugly. I just think, again, if I go to the key positions, especially at wide receiver, I know the Jags have some injuries out there. Give me the Ravens.
I'm going to take the Ravens too, but I'm going to take the Ravens because I want them to win. I think that the Jaguars have a decent chance. And actually, you know something? Give me the Jaguars. I'll take the points with that hook. But I think the Ravens, if the Ravens win this game, it's better for me because my 49ers have the Ravens next week. I don't need the Ravens coming off of a loss and needing a win against my 49ers.
All three of these games that we've just talked about, I would not put a nickel on them. I will give you my locks of the week after we're done with these primetime picks.
Okay. Next game, we have the Eagles going east to west on an extra day of rest because they're playing on Monday night. They're visiting the Seahawks in Seattle, where historically the Seahawks have been good, but in the last year or so, not so much. Eagles are favored by 3.5 on the road at Seattle.
You know, the thing with Philly is they've lost 2 games by over 20 points each game. That's a little disconcerting to me. And Pete Carroll is 18-6 coming off of teams that he plays that have lost by 20 or more points. So having said that, the fact it's a night game, the fact that it is in Seattle and they're getting points, I think Carroll will have these guys ready. Give me Seattle plus 3.5.
Do you think Seattle wins this outright?
I think they could, but I'm not willing to take that chance.
I'm going to take Seattle as well because I think this is a good game. I think this is a tight game. Again, that half-point hook helps me. Seattle played Dallas really close in Dallas.
Yeah.
I think the NFC West is sneaky good, even though their records don't show it. All those teams except the Arizona Cardinals. So I think Seattle can give them a run for their money. Now, Philadelphia is playing for their life. But this is their last hard game. The rest of their games are cupcakes.
Cupcake schedule.
So, okay. So, yeah. So I do think Seattle can win this game outright. I think it's going to be close, and I think it's going to be down at the end. So the last game of the week for me, and you're coming along the ride with me apparently. 49ers are on the road at the Cardinals. 49ers are laying 12.5. Last week, the 49ers, when we picked that game, were only laying 11. That line blew up to 13.5 at kickoff.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we got it in at 11. If it had been 13.5, I would have lost, but it was 11, and they won by 12. So that was a good thing. So this week, 12.5 at the Cardinals.
Well, I think James Conner's back. So with James Conner in the backfield, Tyler Murray being able to move around, I think they're capable of scoring some points. That's a lot of points. And the Cardinals are at home, you said?
Yep.
12.5 at home?
Yep.
If I'm the coach of the Cardinals, that's on the chalkboard. How badly are we disrespected? I will take the points on that one, Bob.
Really? You know what's disrespectful? You know what's really disrespectful? A 3-10 record. That's disrespectful. Put that up on the board. Not that you're, underdogs by 12.5, but put that up on the board.
Aren't they 2-0 though since Murray's been back?
I don't care. They're 3-10. You are what your record says you are. Isn't that what Parcells said? You are what your record says you are. 3-10. Okay, yeah, and I'm rolling with the 49ers for the rest of the season. And after this game, we have the Ravens next week, and we have a couple cupcakes after that. So I am very hopeful that we have home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
So, Bob, you know that I always have my locks of
What's
which
your
none
lock?
of these are. I tried to give you the Giants last week. You refused. I made you an offer you shouldn't have refused.
Oh, my God. Talking about an offer you shouldn't have refused. See that guy's agent in the stands?
Are you talking about DeVito?
DeVito's agent, Slimy. His nickname is Slimy, and he looks slimy.
Forget about it.
I mean, it was everything. He had the gold chain. He had the black hat. He was all in black. He was kissing DeVito's dad on the cheek. It was a made man, man.
Speaking of made men, the one week I give Joey Merlino advice, he actually bet against, he took Dallas.
That was a smart bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't expect Dallas to do that to the Eagles. I expected Dallas to win and cover the spread. I did not expect that result, though.
Dallas will have a test. They're going on the road to Buffalo. That should be an interesting game.
The rest of their season. Do you know the rest of the season?
I know it's pretty brutal.
So they're on the road to the Bills, then on the road to the Dolphins, then at home on the Lions, and their final game, it's a divisional game, but they're at Washington and the Commanders. Yeah. So this is not an easy schedule. So all you Cowboys fans that think you're winning the division, you might want to think again. And you're going on the road. You're going to have to win 3 playoff games on the road, and I don't think you can do it.
Yeah, they got to run the gauntlet. That's going to be a tough test, and that begins this week at Buffalo. Well, since I don't forget, here's why Jerry Jones just ended Bill Belichick's career, and I'm glad we talked about that Dallas Cowboy win. Did you watch that game, the Cowboy game?
A fair amount of it, yeah. It wasn't. Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore basically just took over as a defensive back in that game and eliminated the Eagles receivers. Do you know that we stole that guy from Bill Belichick in New England for a 5th-round draft pick? Just an absolute steal.
Okay.
And if you go through Belichick's draft record, his draft picks really don't make a lot of sense. His teams have not been good since Brady left. And, I'm sure Robert Kraft's sitting there watching the game saying, we let this guy go for a 5th-round draft pick? I mean, the Cowboys absolutely stole it. That was the final nail in the coffin. Belichick's gone.
I think, there is all the talk about Belichick is being gone. I just wish he would step back from his front office duties. Give the GM and player personnel over to somebody else and get out of that, because that's where he's failing. He's not failing on the field. Well, he's failing on the field because he doesn't have personnel, because he's screwing up in the front office.
Who's the former player for Detroit that ran the front office, ran them into the ground?
Matt Millen.
Yeah, I mean,
it is a rare player that can transition to the front office, and it's a rare coach that can also do the front office. Now, thankfully, my 49ers have the exception. John Lynch is amazing. Great
GM.
And the courage that he showed to get rid of Trey Lance and just eat it and go, we're not putting good money after bad and we're moving on. That was awesome. That was a true GM.
Yeah, there's some good GMs out there. I think, like I said, there's going to be 3 for sure firings. San Diego, their staff's gone. Washington staff's gone. Matter of fact, looks like they've worked out a deal to move to Virginia. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I heard that Ted Leonsis in the D.C. area was moving, that there was speculation that he was going to move the Capitals and the Wizards to Virginia. I
beg your pardon. That's right. It was the Capitals and the Wizards.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything yet about the Commanders.
That might not be far behind, but that coaching staff's definitely gone.
Yeah, and
if Todd Bowles doesn't finish strong in Tampa Bay, I think they're gone.
Eberflus in Chicago is probably gone. To make way for Harbaugh.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of changes. My 2 locks, Bob. The Panthers are at home playing Atlanta, and Atlanta's -3. I don't understand that line. Atlanta's got enough talent offensively. Panthers are absolutely abysmal. I think that's a gift, getting Atlanta at -3. Has that line changed at all?
Atlanta -3.
Hasn't changed, which kind of scares me a little bit.
I mean, the Panthers are 1-12.
Yeah, they're pitiful.
And the real tragedy,
and to only have to give up 3 points.
And the real tragedy for Carolina and Carolina fans is you're pitiful. You're going to be at the bottom of the league, and you're not going to get your draft pick. It's going to the Bears.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. What's your other lock?
My other lock is Indy at home against Pittsburgh. The line opened at 2.5. I bought it at 2, but now it's gone all the way down to 1.5. I still like Indy to cover this game. I know offensively, if you watched them play Cincinnati last week, they had some stutter steps, but they still moved the ball. I think offensively, they have the talent to easily put up 24 to 27 points on any given Sunday. Love that. Love Indy -1.5.
I would be very scared of this game. Pittsburgh,
and I know you're just going to say
doing Pittsburgh things.
I know you're just going to say the whole Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin.
Pittsburgh doing Pittsburgh things.
But, Ben Roethlisberger called out Tomlin earlier in the week.
Yeah, Ben, go on the happy retirement path.
So those are my 2 locks. If you want to make a little money, that's where I put a little bit of my coin on. College football, Bob, I did not realize how hazardous being a college football coach or assistant coach can be to your career. One of my Ohio State Buckeye guys, Keenan Bailey, went up to recruit in Cleveland and got jacked, as in carjacked.
Oh, okay. Well, does that say things about college coaches, or does that say things about Cleveland?
Or does it say things about high school football players and where you got to go to get them?
No, and the big news out of to switch, but we won't switch sports. It's still premature to talk about college football. For all you degenerate gambler college football fans out there, come on. Have you been watching any of the advertisements or any of the commercials about college football? They're not talking about any of the college bowl games except the national championship. So all you guys that are in the Bad Boy Mower Bowl and the VRBO Bowl and the Sarsaparilla Bowl, yeah.
It's strictly for money, and half these kids aren't even playing in most of them. So
and here's something I said this past weekend: when everybody can make a bowl game, it's no longer special. You're no longer special. When everyone's special, no one's special.
That's true.
So bring on the 12-team playoff, and let's be done with this bowl game crap.
Well, you'll get your wish.
Yep, next year.
Next year.
Did you see that Draymond Green? Talking about news, suspended indefinitely.
This guy's got some problems.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, it just seems like there's something there that triggers him about every other day.
He plays with a reckless abandon.
Didn't he get suspended last year for fighting one of his own guys?
He got suspended this year already. This is his second suspension this year. He got suspended this year for choking out somebody, and now he's suspended indefinitely, which means who knows what it means. We'll start to get source reports of, what his conditions are, because the league is going to have conditions and the team is going to have conditions, and John Morant is coming back possibly soon.
Yeah, didn't he have 60 games or something?
Something like that. Yeah, that suspension is getting ready to run out.
Well, hopefully that young man got his act together.
Yeah, hopefully.
I know NBA I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, Bob McGinnis, my son.
Yeah, passed away.
Yeah, great player.
Passed away.
Played with Gervin back in the day.
Yeah, I actually drove by the Gervin Academy last night on my way home.
Yeah. Maybe we can get George back up here, man. Do part 2. There's so much I wanted to talk to him about.
I'd like to get his thoughts on Draymond and what may be up with him, but
yeah, it's kind of a sad situation. It's a shame because he's a great player, won some championships, and you just don't want to be known as, the guy that got in fights.
It's more than fights. It's stupid. It's stupid things. It's stupid aggression.
Yeah.
So
there's an underlying cause.
Yeah, probably.
Hopefully he'll get it addressed.
Probably.
Bob, we haven't done it in a while. You guys want to do some trivia?
Well, let's do one card of trivia.
All right, one card of trivia, folks. What we do is we ask sports rules to each other, and we're not very well at getting the answers correct. Play along at home. See if you can beat us. Bob, I'm going to do pro football.
Okay.
Stay with pro football. A field goal attempt is blocked, but bounces back to the kicker. Is it legal for him to attempt a drop kick in this situation? A field goal attempt is blocked, but bounces back to a la Garo Yepremian.
Yeah.
That's going back. Remember that play?
Yeah, I think the last isn't Doug Flutie the last player to convert an actual drop kick lately?
I don't know.
So anyway, yeah, that's good. So woohoo, I got it.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna go pro basketball.
Okay.
I swear.
How about them Spurs? Who's gonna?
Oh my God! You watched the game last night?
But they still don't have the worst record in the NBA.
No, they don't, and they don't. They don't have the worst losing streak either. But
that Vegas over at 27 wins, I think if you had the under, which I would have lost that one.
My God, you know, and I don't believe in moral victories all that much, but man, they look good coming back against the Lakers. That showed some maturity. And it's an immature team. This is the youngest squad in basketball.
I mean, when you think about it, though, they've basically fleeced Atlanta for their next 4 first-round draft picks for the next couple of years. And we're going to get another. We're probably going to be in the lottery again. If we get Atlanta's lottery and then the cap money and some trades, I mean, look out. You know, Spurs are doing it the right way. They're building this thing brick by brick.
Yes, and again, I'm going to say this again. I've said this in other places. Please don't wish for tanking and wish for losing. Honest tanking, we have a young, inexperienced squad. They're immature. They're getting their legs. Even Wemby is getting his NBA legs underneath him.
Yeah.
He got called for a foul on a three-pointer last night that could have tied the game. That was kind of stupid. So let's just continue the season and let's just play where we are. We're not trying to lose, guys. We're putting players out there getting experience and possibly also maybe increasing their trade capital and making these players valuable on the trade market so we can bring in a good mix next year. So
I think that's the plan. And well, Wemby is setting records already that NBA records. He broke another one the other night. You know what it was?
What was it?
Dwight Superman Howard was the youngest guy for 20 points and 20 rebounds until Wemby came along, and he just broke that record.
His last night it was 30 and 15, I think.
Would you have still taken Scoot Henderson over Wemby?
No, absolutely not.
So do you renounce that?
I never said take Scoot over Wemby. It was always Wemby.
I got to go back and roll tape.
I never said take Scoot over Wemby. Wemby was a generational talent. I did say if we dropped to 2, Scoot wasn't a bad consolation prize.
Okay.
So that's what I said. Okay, so here's your pick. Here's your question. Since we just talked about basketball, we'll go basketball.
Okay.
And this is kind of apropos of the time. John gains possession of a rebound. He swings an elbow and hits an opponent in the chest.
Draymond Green?
How does the official rule?
Repeat the question one more time.
John gains possession of a rebound.
Okay.
He swings an elbow and hits an opponent in the chest. How does the official rule?
Well, nowadays things have changed. They would decide whether it was a grade 1, 2, 3 foul. But in today's NBA, I believe the possession there would be free throws. The guy who got hit in the chest would have a free throw, and the possession stays with that team.
John is assessed with an elbow foul, you're right, and his team with a team foul. The fouled player is awarded 2 free throw attempts.
Okay,
and depending on the severity of it, John may be ejected for an unsportsmanlike act. That's before they instituted kind of more of the, we're going to look at it directly. But even under the old set of rules, which our questions are based on, it could have been considered an unsportsmanlike act.
Okay. One more or we'll call it a tie.
Yeah, okay.
I'll stay with football. A field goal attempt is blocked.
Did you just ask that question?
Just seeing if you're paying attention.
It's a field goal.
Seeing if you're paying attention. All right, we'll do college football since we got a lot of bowl games that I know you're interested in. Consecutive timeouts cannot be called by the same team between downs. True or false?
True. It's a delay of game penalty.
False. Consecutive timeouts cannot be called by the same team between downs. True or false? In college, it's listed as false. Now, I don't know if that's changed since this came out.
Seems stupid. Stupid rule. Okay, pro. The quarterback throws a forward pass that is touched simultaneously by the tight end and a linebacker. The pass pops up into the air and is caught by an offensive tackle. Is this a legal completion?
Absolutely.
Yep, true. Okay.
I'm a winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Well, until next week, you all have a great week. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe if you're so inclined. And until again, OH.
Peace out.
IO. Bye.